Buongiorno, it's your friendly neighborhood manga reviewer Anonymous here, back with Chapter 6 of Kuroneko to Majo no Kyoushitsu, entitled The Story of Caster Gemini. And this is the first chapter that really focuses on a member of Spica's coven, and not just Spica herself. In fact, we open for what the horrible name is for the coven, and how terrible all the students are. Taros can't control her strength. Libra flirts with every female that moves. Leo's an idiot who just wants attention, and you Aries sleeps like a log through each of every class. Not to mention, though, even though they are all terrible students, they're all very strong, both in magical and physical. So the rest of the kids ignore them at all times, or try to get away from them at all times, and they call them the Pandora's Box Coven. Basically, everyone in the coven is a psychopathic mess, and the rest of the school has taken notice. Uh, Claude has his work cut up for him, that's for sure. So the headmistress slash his former master is letting him know that there's even one person who's not even attending class, or in some cases, specifically Claude's classes, and that's Caster Gemini, the hothead from chapter 4 who beat up Libra and has his mirror and possibly teleportation magic, hasn't been attending any of class, majority of classes, mostly Claude's classes. Uh, so Claude does the rational thing and immediately puts the head of the coven in charge, or the coven dunce, in this case Spica, in charge of dragging him to class by any means necessary. Spica doesn't even know where to look for him. But luckily, Io Taurus was walking by, and she has the power to make anything supersized, and she's super strong. So Spica asks her for help and maybe locating him. Tauros makes her ears super powerful, and she goes, "Hey, there's a fight outside the school. That's probably where he is." Sure enough, that's where he was, beating up some kid. He clearly has some anger issues. He does get into fights often, go, kind of giving off that badass vibe. So Claude attempts to plead with Castor by being friendly and asking him to come to class. Claude says, "Great, only if you quit teaching." Claude obviously says no, but due to some friendly flirt bullying or bully flirting, whichever order you want to call it, by Spica and mostly to Iotaurus, he finally begs off by agreeing to come to class. And so this class's practical magic study is they have to go find a mandrake. Now, the mandrake in Harry Potter was extremely dangerous. They all had to wear like basically giant earphones to keep the sound of its screams from killing them, making their brain bleed out of their ears. This one doesn't seem as powerful, just something kind of note of different fantasy series. Um, but Io, Spica, and Castor are all teamed up, uh, where Io forces Castor to stop being lazy and try to help them look. Uh, they were classmates in middle school, and Io doesn't tolerate his laziness, which is clear. But really, Castor doesn't seem like that bad of a guy. Spica got a little dirt on her skirt, and he gives her her handkerchief that does look a little girly, uh, though Castor doesn't seem to like that implication. And then Claude shows up to kind of keep building that bridge with his failure of a student. Uh, Castor immediately turns sour, and the whole atmosphere gets a little more dour when Claude's there. He clearly hates Claude for something, and as Claude sees it, he needs to level with him, man to man, or in this case, man to boy. It turns out that Castor hates him due to the event that happened years ago when the heretics attacked. He instead of sitting there protecting the students, he abandoned them and never came back. Now, obviously, we do know through past chapters that something did happen to Claude while he was battling the heretics. Obviously, that's why he's turned into a cat when Speaker runs out of mana. But we don't know exactly what, and my guess is we won't know for another 20 to 30 chapters at the earliest, if not 40 or 50. But Castor clearly hates it for that, and Claude clearly doesn't want to share. Meanwhile, Io doesn't care. Io's like, "Hey, there's some mandrake plants over on the other side of the river. I'm gonna go get them." Except again, she's a klutz, and that's why she ended up in the wall 2 chapters ago. So she trips over some rock and about to fall into the river. Castor, again, showing that he isn't just an ass, and tries to run and save her. And it's like, hey, take my hand, I'll catch you. Except Tauros is like, hey, you know what? I'm actually secretly Ant-Man and can just whoop, grow giant, and this isn't a problem. And he even makes a joke about that was scary. Looking down, she looking down, she notices that Castor falls in, and she's like, "Oh no, I gotta save Castor!" Trying to reach out in her giant hands to get him. Now Castor's hands are all wet, and he slips into the slips right off her finger because again her finger is more like a giant beanpole at this point. Uh, he's more complaining than anything else that he thinks he's gonna die as he not really worrying about his own safety, just how the humanity and humor of it. He ends up falling. There's a column bend in the river. He ends up being able to climb out. And as he's derobing to dry his clothes off, Claude lands with the two girls. Maybe Castor will turn into a secondary love interest for Spica or Io Taurus. Wait, he's a girl? What the heck? And so that's really how the chapter ends with this giant cliffhanger hanger about Castor, who might not be Castor, might be Cassandra. We don't know. I'm not really sure what happens next, but if you want to find out as we go through this read along and review, please click the like, comment, or like and subscribe button, and then comment below as to what you think's going on with female Castor. Uh, Talk to you soon.